Program. NSIC's Rapid Incubation Program helps budding entrepreneurs by imparting small-scale project-based technical training and establishing their own enterprise through its technology-cum business incubation centers. NSIC successfully established various incubation centers in India and also in various developing countries of Africa. NSIC also implementing livelihood incubators all over the country under Aspire scheme of Ministry of NSME. NSIC is also implementing SCST Hub for the Ministry of NSME.
Government have established a national SCST hub to provide professional support to entrepreneurs coming from such communities and promote enterprise culture among SCST population.
Every child learns how to walk by holding somebody's hand. The National Small Industries Corporation, NSIC, is there to hold your hand always.
So that was a presentation by the NSIC. As you would have noticed, there are many things, many advantages that small industries can gain by associating themselves as members of the NSIC. One common problem that we see here in India is that we tend to have very good schemes, very good policies, but awareness of those policies are usually very less. Most small businesses are not aware of the kind of benefits and support different government enterprises give them. And the Ministry of MSME through NSIC is supporting small businesses through all these means, as we just saw in the video. And one of the enablement initiatives of NSIC is technology. And that is where the recent MOU that we signed between NSIC and Zoho is going to help members embrace digital technology and take their business to the next level. So we have a small introduction, rather an overview of Zoho Corporation. And I'd like you all guys to take a look at it. And once again, please use the questions tab on the left side to start asking your questions. Some of you already have. They will be taken up later when the Ask Me Anything or AMA session formally begins.
As we look back, we don't measure ourselves by numbers, but we measure by the impact we have had on employees and their families, impact on customers and their businesses, impact on the community, impact on the partners, the ecosystem, and of course, impact on the industry. What makes Zoho different is we not only build products, but we focus on building know-how and capability to build products in regions that are otherwise ignored and providing opportunity to people that are otherwise ignored.
I came to Chennai just with 1,000 rupees in my pocket. Okay? So one of my friend who helped me to get a security job in Zoho. I was very happy that I got a job like in such big companies, like not actually in Zoho, but in a post in a big company. Okay, pardon my English. Okay, I was in a different medium of school. Okay, I was in Assamese medium. I have learned this all from Zoho schools.
He may have joined us through a security job. He is now a developer at Zoho.
அப்பா வந்துட்டு சலூன் கடை வச்சிருக்காங்க. ஸோ அதுல இருந்து வர இன்கம் வந்துட்டுனா கம்மி தான். ஸோ என்னாலையும் ஜோஹோ ஜாயின் பண்ணதுக்கு அப்புறம் ஒரு இன்கம் கொடுக்க முடிஞ்சு, ஃபேமிலியை சப்போர்ட் பண்ண முடிஞ்சு. சேலரி வச்சு எங்க வீட்டுல நடக்கிற கஷ்டத்தெல்லாம் என்னால போக முடியுது. எனக்கு தேவையான பொருள் எல்லாம் என்னோட பைசாலே வாங்கிக்கிறேன். ஸோ என்னால அந்த சேலரி வச்சு கொஞ்சம் கொஞ்சமா என்னோட வீட்டு கஷ்டத்தையும் போக முடியுது. நான் அதை சேர்த்து வச்சு என்னோட தங்கச்சி அவங்களுக்கும் பண்ண முடியுது. என்னோட கல்யாணத்துக்கு, என் தங்கச்சி அவங்க கல்யாணத்துக்கும் என்னால சேவிங் பண்ண முடியுது.
அவரோட வருமானம் வந்து என்னுடைய வாரம் குறைஞ்சிருக்கு. இப்போ அதனால ரொம்ப சந்தோஷமா இருக்கு. நாங்க ஜோஹோக்கு ரொம்ப நன்றி சொல்லுவோம்.
7 மாசமா நல்ல சம்பளம் வாங்கிட்டு இருக்கான். கொஞ்சம் கஷ்டத்துல 3 பிள்ளைல ஒரு பிள்ளை நல்லா நீங்கி வந்துருச்சு அப்படின்னு பெருமைப்படுறேன். இது எல்லாமே எங்க ஐயா ஜோஹோக்கு தான் நன்றி தெரிவிச்சாங்க.
And you know that I am the very first software engineer my entire village. I am the first engineer. So it makes me like, I don't know that whether I should be proud of myself, I don't know, but it makes me happy that I am the first engineer of my village.
There is a lot of latent talent in the world that is really waiting for that opportunity, that first step on the ladder. At Zoho, we have actually specialized in providing that opportunity, get people on that first step on the ladder, and then they figure out how to climb afterwards. It's really that the talent is everywhere in our estimation. In fact, if we could do it all over again, if we could do it all over the world, it would create so much opportunity.
So I have been seeing Zoho running one of its development centers in Tenkasi, the rural South Tamil Nadu. Based on that, we decided to move to my native, Tirunelveli. There are two core reasons inbuilt into the objective. One is like keeping ourselves frugal, creating affordable software for the global market. Second one is like, we just want to contribute to the society back. There are people who are struggling to travel out of Tirunelveli, either due to monetary reasons or language barriers, who can still build great products. And following the Zoho way, we moved ourselves to Tirunelveli to start the company.
I don't think a lot of companies would have gone through such fundamental transformation multiple times and survived and thrived, right? So being part of that journey, right, taught us a lot of nuances, right? It's one is to read about something, but another is to be part of it. That nuances to understand, right? That gives a lot of confidence. Zoho produced a lot of full stack entrepreneurs.
Zoho has had a tremendous impact, not just economically, but also in the social development of the district. Zoho has been very successful in tapping the talent which is there in the rural area. We don't really have to bring everybody out of the rural areas, bring them to the town and make them educated and take them to heights. We need to see that every rural area gets all the amenities that is required. Take on the strength of the rural areas, rebuild on that, bring back the confidence among our rural youth that they are not to be sidelined. They have equal opportunities compared to the children who are there in the towns or in the urban areas. That is the confidence we have to build on. And they have tremendous strength in themselves. So we got to revive that strength among the rural youth, and catching them young is very important. Now, that is where I think the schools have started working upon, the Zoho schools that you're working on.
Some of these are influenced by philosophy, and philosophy plays an important role in Zoho.
Philosophy seems at first something far removed from everyday concerns of business, but in reality, philosophy is extremely important. And this is where your core convictions come from. For example, we talk about creating opportunity for people who lack it, creating opportunity for talent that does not have it. That is a philosophical premise. Why should we have to do it? It's a philosophical premise, it's a conviction that comes from within. In the same way, why should we work on rural initiatives? Why should we try to bring talent back into rural areas? All of these come from deep philosophical wellsprings. So it is very important for business people to be aware of the inner motivations, the philosophical journey within, from which all these motivations arise.
These convictions play a crucial role in the everyday decisions we make at Zoho. One such example is privacy.
I wrote the first privacy policy for Zoho. And one of the statements that was there right from the beginning is that we will not use your data for any marketing purposes. And till date, we've held on to that promise that we will not monetize your data. So even before GDPR, now I'm talking about 2006 when I wrote the first privacy policy. So in 2006, we made this promise that we will not monetize your data. And then that was much before people started talking about privacy, talking about data protection. So I think this data protection and privacy, the respect for users' data, is something that has been there with Zoho.
From building a deep technology stack to doing deep R&D in rural villages, from building over 100 products across industries to providing opportunity to over thousands of employees, from prioritizing education over credentials to prioritizing R&D over sales and marketing, from prioritizing privacy over profits to believing in zero debt philosophy, from doing marketing through engineering to doing organic farming as part of the business. All of these are driven by our convictions.
For the last 25 years, I've been very fortunate to work with many of my senior colleagues who've been there all along this journey. And that's something that is incredibly supportive, because without them, there's no way this whole organization could have been built. And this, in fact, I often wondered, why would people want to stay with us? And ultimately, it is not just for money, not just for material well-being. It is also a fulfillment. For all of us, this journey has been extremely fulfilling, and that is why people are still with us. And we want to go another 25 years, if the universe is willing, on this.
Externally, what you see is what's above the surface. Internally, what we see is what's underneath the soil. For the last 25 years, we've built a deep root system built around people, with values, built with conviction and culture. And that root system goes deep and wide. We don't look at it as a work life. We look at it as our life's work. We thank you for your support. Namaste.
All right. I'm sure many of you were expecting a corporate promo video that talks a lot about softwares and the magic that they can do to your business. One software that can completely transform your business and all of that stuff. The entire video that we saw right now almost never touched anything about software. And Zoho is a software maker, because there's more to success than just the products that you make. The values the company has, the principles, the direction in which they choose to go, and all of these are just as important as the software that your business is going to be running on. And I personally hope that when you guys make your 25th or 50th year video, you would recall some of the things that you learned from today's session. So without any further delay, let me introduce Sri Vidyasagar Singh, who is the General Manager of Business Development of the National Small Industries Corporation. So he has more than 2 decades of experience in the business development sector, as well as e-commerce, global sourcing, as well as even supply chain management with several leading multinational companies, as well as Indian companies. He joined NSIC way back in 2017, and he's working on digital initiatives that can facilitate the growth of Indian MSMEs. I would like to call in and deliver the welcome note for today's session. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Kirish. Thank you for the introduction. And first of all, I would like to welcome, to all the delegates, dignitaries, my colleagues from NSIC across the India who have joined this session, Zoho team for organizing such a wonderful event, my director, and in the last special guest of the day, Sri Padma Shri Sridhar Vembuji, for giving his valuable and precious time for this AMA event for guiding the MSMEs and digital transformation. As have already been told by Kirish and shown in the NSIC video. So NSIC is there and with the objective and mission to facilitate and promote MSMEs. And it's a 65-year-old organization. So with time, there are a lot of changing needs of the organization, and the MSMEs as well. So in that direction, we have been trying to work on making NSIC as one-stop solution for all MSME needs. And we started a concept called, aggregation services. And one of the vertical under this aggregation model is the ICT-enabled digital services. So we started working on it, wholeheartedly some 1 year, almost one and a half year back. And then we are proud to announce that we have already signed some partnership with some of the leading companies of the world, I would say, in the ICT digital enabled services. And one of the proud partner, with whom we have signed MOU is Zoho, and we are extremely happy to announce this and do this session for MSMEs on this Zoho. So the concept is very simple. We thought that this digital transformation is the need of the hour, and all the MSME needs to migrate. So still, I mean, the penetration is very low and all that, but we needed that we thought that there is a need to handhold and support MSMEs through our pan India presence by the NSIC field offices and our B2B portals. And so we welcome once again all the participants, NSIC offices, Zoho team, and Sridhar sir. I would not like to take much time because we have eminent personalities and experts, to address the session. So before we invite the chief guest of the day, Sridhar Vembu sir, I would like to invite my director, NSIC Planning and Marketing, Sri Uday Kumar ji, for his keynotes and to the MSMEs. Uday Kumar sir, welcome to you.
Thank you, Vidyasagar. Good afternoon to all of you. Good afternoon, Padmashri, Mr. Sridhar Vembu, Mr. Girish, and my colleague Vidyasagar, and the participants, numbering about 200 plus, were joined across India. It is indeed my pleasure and privilege to be part of this video conferencing session, especially with one of the most respected business icon of India, Padmashri Sridhar Vembu. And I have read a lot about Mr. Vembu in the magazines. There is also something else which connects. I think he is the one who has come from Silicon Valley to Tirunelveli. I have come from Tirunelveli to New Delhi. I'm basically from Tirunelveli. So that again, that gives another connection. So I have a lot of respect for you in that aspect also. There are very few people who go back to the society, who go back to the villages and contribute, especially after working in MNCs. I really appreciate and I have a lot of respect for you. And NSIC we are really privileged to have this association with Zoho. Although I was not aware about the full potential of Zoho, and it's about 200 products which can be targeted for the MSMEs. And I think the participants miracle. I think some of the participants probably, if you are not able to understand English, I think I can also speak in Hindi. So anyway, I guess let me start from English, and again maybe the interaction session, maybe we can have Hindi interaction also. So this 200 products which I just noticed from Zoho, I think can really create a kind of a completely technology and digital transformation for the MSMEs. And as Mr. Vidyasagar mentioned, so India is a great opportunity. And of course, like even if we go by the statistics, we are talking in terms of over 63 million MSMEs in India as per the little older statistics. And I think sure today it will be about 70 million. And its contribution is about almost 31% to the GDP, and about 40% of the exports are coming from the MSMEs. I think plus again, there are about 8,000 products which are being manufactured by the various MSMEs in India. And if at all India is going to make a big, remarkable, foothold in this manufacturing sector, or especially in the Make in India, it can come only from MSME sector. So, and in this regard, as Mr. Vidyasagar was mentioning, NSIC, despite being one of the very traditional old organization with about 65 years of existence, we are trying to be more relevant to the MSME sector for today, and we are in the complete MSME commercial space, starting from incubation. In fact, I think most of the people who are watching, they must be aware, NSIC is known for a company, PSU, which incubates entrepreneurs. In fact, that is our basic thing. Rather, we convert unemployed and college students as entrepreneurs. We have dedicated incubators in the country, both our own as well as with private partnership. And anybody who visits our incubation centers, once they take a training, I am very sure they become entrepreneurs eventually. And once he becomes an entrepreneur, which is like very tough in country like India, especially for the people who are from the rural background. So our technologies in our livelihood incubators are very localized. In fact, they are all the projects and technologies are based on the local products available, especially the agriculture products, as well as the other resources like textile and etc. So this entrepreneur who undergoes a training or the incubation in our incubators, he is very confident, and after that once he comes out, he also needs more supports, which is not available that easily. But NSIC is dedicated for providing such supports. Once a person is incubated, we provide the financial support, which is very very critical. We have an MOU. We have MOUs with about 30 commercial banks and also some other NBFCs. So through this alliance, we also ensure we facilitate finances for the outcoming entrepreneur. Then again, he requests, if he is a manufacturer, if he requires raw material, we have a tie-up with almost all the leading raw material producers of in the country, including some of the imported items. So we facilitate the raw material at a very competitive price, and we also ensure that even some of the products from the big PSUs as well as private producers, is made available to the MSMEs. We do have our logistics centers. We have set up logistics to hold the raw material, and from this godowns, the products are also delivered to the MSMEs. And apart from that, actually, like once a person becomes a manufacturer, he has got a product or he has got a service, then he wants to find a market. So then we also have a marketing outlet. We have a marketing schemes. The entrepreneur can participate in government tenders as well as in the purchase programs through NSIC. And if the person is not eligible to participate in a government tender, there is a provision in NSIC where the MSI, micro small enterprises, can participate in a government tender through NSIC, and after that NSIC offloads the entire job to the MSME by charging a very nominal charges. And now, in addition to that, actually, we also have a unique single point registration scheme. The scheme is meant for identifying and aggregating robust and able MSCs, and the data is made available to the public sectors, because the government has got a 25% procurement target, and many of the PSUs and government agencies do not know how to source a product from the MSCs, micro small enterprises. So we have a database which is kind of a very well respected in the industry. It's a demand driven, and once he registers in the single point registration, then his data is accessible to so many PSUs. So his marketing chances improve much. Plus, again, we also have the e-commerce portal like B2B, which Mr. Jasagar is looking after, which provides a B2B platform for a lot of domestic as well as international buyers. Plus, we also have technical centers which provide skillings, trainings, and also job works. In fact, I think the job work is one of the very unique things which just may not be known to the people. Our technical centers offer high technology machines wherein the MSc can come and do the job works at a very reasonable price. And we also provide support services like testing services. We provide calibration services, and so that like the MSMEs who cannot invest their entire money in manufacturing can avail the services. And we also have an expertise in putting up incubation technical technology centers in African countries and some of the Latin American countries. And we are working with a lot of countries. We are we are also we undertake opportunity studies. Currently, we are negotiating with 2 3 countries. And as per this, domestic system is concerned, we in addition to this raw material, finance facilitation, tender facilitation, we have now started identifying the other needs of the MSMEs. Like for example, this software, especially after the GST became mandatory, now the MSMEs have to have an invoicing software or like GST software, or some other advanced MSMEs they need ERP softwares. So we aggregate, we identify people like Zoho, and we don't charge anything from the MSCs. We actually we get alliances, we collaborate with this software companies. We provide a platform for the MSME, so that the MSME, depending upon his appetite, depending upon his capability, he can identify the right kind of a software and the right kind of a price, so that actually he gets a assurance of a quality developer. And same way machines. We have also now introduced machine aggregation, wherein the needy MSME can identify machines from various manufacturers across India, because we have a all India presence. So we identify the machine manufacturers, especially quality manufacturers, so that the MSC need not waste his time and money by going and inspecting the unit. And this gives a kind of a platform. And we are also planning to launch more such presentations like logistics, even small things like publicity and hardwares. So we have a lot of plans in the anvil. And also, like, one of the unique thing is we also implement certain government schemes. And one of the flagship scheme which is everybody has to watch is a fund of fund scheme. Through the scheme, NSIC is planning to introduce about 50,000 crores of funds to the MSMEs, and this fund will come from the municipal. 10,000 crores will come from the ministry as a mother fund, and 40,000 crores will be mobilized from the financial market through daughter funds, and this fund will be invested in MSMEs through completely a professional pattern. We have SBI caps our AMC, and we have also taken a leading Ketan as our legal advisor. And this mother fund, we are just waiting for the SEBI clearance. Anytime it will come. So next, then there will be a lot of roadshows. So this 50,000 crore, which is called a SRI fund, is going to create a revolution, I can tell you, especially for the IT-based MSMEs. And the purpose of the scheme is actually we want to grow the MSMEs to the next level. They have to outgrow, they have to become corporates, they have to become listed companies, so that there's going to be a completely a kind of a complete very progressive investment climate will be available in India, especially the MSME sector. And I think we have more such plans. In fact, even our honorable minister, when we had a meeting last week, asked us to even prepare a blueprint for launching a national MSME digital bank. And also, we are planning to have a big role in raw material market. So I think these are some of the few things which I just wanted to present to the enlightened team and also the participants. And I think without taking much time, I think I'm very eager to listen to Padma Shri Sridhar Vembu. And I would like to thank the Zoho team for providing this time. And I think this is only a beginning. I think we have a long way to go. I'm sure I think we can work much closer. And the market is huge. And of course, your appetite is also huge. And I think you are the right kind of a Make in India product. And I think this can really penetrate, and I think create a really a digital revolution, not only for a simple invoicing software, even for the entire gamut of software requirements for the MSME sector. And I would like to thank once again all the best.
Thank you, Director Sir, and thank you, Mr. Vidyasagar, for the welcome note. Thank you, both of you. And without any further delay, let me invite Mr. Sridhar Vembu of Zoho Corporation to deliver his keynote, and we begin the AMA right after that.
Thank you, Mr. Uday Kumar. Thank you, Mr. Vidyasagar Singh, and thank you, Krish. I will be brief in my remarks, and so that we get on with the AMA. First of all, I want to talk about how Zoho itself was an MSME, a micro business, 25 years ago. And we started with nothing. It's really a bedroom operation in a suburb of Chennai, in Tambaram. And I want to give you an idea of how I think about this. What's an MSME problem? How do you get on a growth curve, right? How do you keep growing? And the idea that I'll tell you is take any complicated product today. Take, for example, the cell phone. And obviously, as an MSME, you cannot break into making a cell phone. But then split it down further and further and further. There is probably some component here that's made by a 5% company somewhere in China or Korea or Japan. Take your motorcycle, take your electric vehicle or whatever, take anything. You split it down. There is thousands of parts that are going into it, thousands of parts, literally. And when you break it apart, and in the end, there will be some part that is made by an MSME somewhere. Okay? And then there is accessories. For example, there is a cell phone, and then I have this cell phone, whatever. I even have a mounted cell phone on this. The stand. These stands, if you look at it, they are imported in India today. That's an excellent opportunity for somebody with a 10% business or 20% business in a rural area to make this, actually. So that is how I think about these problems. I want to give you an entrepreneur's perspective. So I don't think about how do I build a cell phone. I think about how do I make a small part in it, and or how do I build a stand for it. And just about the problems. Spend a lot of time thinking about this and marshal the resources. You want the skills, the labor, and then the facilities, all of that. And today I'll tell you, you can do these in rural areas in India. Transportation, logistics have gotten much better. Land is cheaper, and labor is readily available. And you have to invest in some training. Clearly, you have to invest in training. Keep that as a mission for your business, that you have to invest in skill building and training. Then you can build any of this. You can build a stand. You can build a small part that goes into a car or a whatever. And then you have to find the customer. If you make relatively humble part and you approach enough of these bigger companies, someone will give you a break. They're going to say, hey, maybe you can send us 100 samples, we'll test it. Some engineer will say, and you can get a break. That is actually literally how we got a break into the world of software. And then you build from it. Take the money you make from it and invest in next product, R&D, expand your range of products, expand the depth and complexity. And here we are in Zoho now. We are holding this meeting on our showtime software, which is fairly complex machinery. There's a lot of moving parts here. It's a fairly large team. There's at least 40 or 50 people directly involved, and then maybe another 30, 40 people kind of supporting, providing components into it. Another 50 people, over 100 engineers involved in this kind of product. We could not have done it 24 years ago. Could not have done it even 15 years ago. But we can attempt this. So that is how I see trace the evolution of NSIC. Take a tiny product, tiny part from this, and build on from there. So that's all I have to say, and I'll now open for questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Sridhar. So we can straight away start projecting some questions on the screen. Just to make things easier for the people who have just joined in, please use the questions tab on the left side. There's a button called questions with the question mark symbol on it. Just click that and type your question there. We will then be able to project those questions on the screen. So we will start taking some of the questions we have already received. And as we continue to receive more, we will start showing them on the screen. So here's the first one. So this question is from Mr. Ranganathan. So he says, will NSIC and Zoho train women entrepreneurs in MSME to use all the features of these softwares? So I think both of you can answer this one by one.
Yeah, I'll answer first. Maybe the good one. And we actually have active programs for training our users to use our software, particularly in the MSME context. We put together a lot of events. We actually have community events, local community events, which are now, due to COVID, a lot of it is happening online. We are taking the show on the road as soon as conditions permit, local events where we train people. And we'd be happy to put together specific events for women entrepreneurs as well, MSME entrepreneurs as well. And we have active teams looking at this, so we'll do this.
Thank you, Sridhar. Director Udaya Kumar, would you like to answer the other half?
Yeah, actually, see, as I mentioned during my speech, we do organize a lot of programs across the country. That's one of our mandate, especially vendor development programs, seminars, conferences. We also support MSMEs to participate in domestic events as well as abroad events. So this gives a huge opportunity to reach the MSMEs. So we conduct about 800 to 900 events, rather we participate physically. But unfortunately, last year, that is 2021, and even now, till now, we are not able to reach out physically to the field. But I think we are again trying to reach out through the video conferencing and the digital means. But I think I think by April end or May, things should normalize. Then I think we'll be visible across the country. We'll be holding a lot of physical events, and especially seminars. We'll be participating in a lot of panel discussions, and I'm sure actually even Zoho will also be participating in the events. This will give a great platform for MSMEs to understand our your softwares as well as NSIC's products.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for answering that. And so we have this question from Mr. Muthuraman. He says it's very difficult for people like him to get a buyer to export his products overseas. So he's asking for your insights into that. Director or Vidyasagar, any one of you can answer.
See, basically, NSIC, as I mentioned, we only facilitate all activities, including exports. In fact, as a matter of fact, a couple of years back, NSIC was a fraud trading house. We had an export division. We had a mandate of exporting MSME products. Currently, we are not doing it, but again, we are trying to restart that activity. See, we have a buyer list. NSIC knows which are the probable countries. What is required is actually we need to do the matchmaking, and we do have very, very strong contacts in South Africa, in some of the Latin American countries. We work very closely with the consulates, Indian consulates, and the manufacturer side, MSME manufacturer side. If he wants to export, we definitely our offices will be very happy to help them. We can also help them in participating in some other foreign events. Suppose if it is targeting a particular country, we can help them in going on what the country unit can go and participate in the country where we organize a lot of local matchmaking events. We call the local associations, we call the local ambassadors and consulates. These people will help them in doing the networking. Sometimes there are many success stories. There are many success stories. The people who we take them or abroad for participating events. Many people get huge orders. They may not reveal, but they get a lot of orders. They go repeatedly, and there are a lot of success stories. We can definitely help them.
I'll add one thing: how you overseas orders, you find specific events like Mr. Uday Kumar mentioned, and attend maybe one or two. Just find the relevant events attended and make some contact with potential buyers. Don't aim too high first, right? Aim at somebody who is willing to give up that initial order, take a chance on your business, fledgling business, and that is how we should. And that's exactly how we found business in the beginning. So, that's what I'd suggest.
Thank you, Sridhar. Thank you, Director Uday Kumar. So I have this question from Mr. Mangal. It's addressed to Mr. Sridhar. So he says, what do you think is the role of budding enterprises in contributing towards social aspects like health, malnutrition, climate change, education, etc.?
First thing to stress is, when you are a budding entrepreneur, when you are starting with nothing, all these look very remote from our concerns. Our first concern is survival, putting food on the table. And I wouldn't blame you if you thought that. That's normal, right? You have to first survive before you make an impact on anyone else. So I would recommend that first you focus on how your business survives. While doing so, keep an eye on the future and see if your business is on a long-term sustainable trajectory. If you succeed in your path, for example, are you adopting technologies that harm the environment, or are you adopting technologies that will have a good energy and all of that balance? That's something that to pay attention. And similarly, when you hire people, are you investing in them? Are you treating them well? Because that is the only way employees are going to be productive long-term for you. You don't invest in them, you don't take care of them, your business is not going to do well long-term. It's just what goes around comes around. It's kind of theory of karma in operation as pertains to business. So you have to take care of your people in order for them to take care of your business. So that is, and similarly, if you're in an environment, look around your area. If there is severe malnutrition, that's something that's going to impact your business because there is going to be potential issues that arise from it. For example, later you cannot say, well, I don't have skilled workers here, or I have a theft problem, because if people are hungry, you're not going to have people who, your own property cannot be safe. So you have to take care of those problems as an entrepreneur. In other words, the local problems are our problems, our common problems. That is how I would think about all this. And once you think about that, then all these become natural. But I'd still like to keep it focused on the survival of your business first. How do you survive? How do you put food on the table? And then broaden your focus to be.
Thank you, Sridhar. And we have a question from Mr. Vivek. So he has brought up this important topic of marketing for MSMEs products. We have a few other questions related to marketing as well. So I think this is something both NSIC and Mr. Sridhar can answer. NSICs have small marketing budgets, so how can they let their customers know about these products? Mr. Vidyasagar, you have a background in business development and e-commerce. Do you like to share your thoughts?
Hello. Yes. As you know, we have shown in the videos also, and like Sir said, and it's one of the area where we provide support to MSMEs are marketing. And how do we do that? Is there are two type of business opportunities. I would say one is the public procurement, which is the government participating in business. The other is corporate, right? And NSIC do have a marketing assistance scheme, or we can say scheme for providing, which is a government scheme, and we are implementing agency for providing subsidy for participating in domestic as well as international exhibitions. So one of the ways we can help in marketing of the MSME product is that we can support them in participating in domestic and international exhibition, through which they can generate inquiries with the corporate, with the prospective buyer, as Sridhar mentioned. The other area is the public procurement, the government procurement, and for that we have SPRS scheme, as was shown in the video, and Director Sir also mentioned. So, which is the single point registration scheme for government procurement, and that is very, very widely recognized in the certification, through which MSME gets certain benefit. One of them is the EMD waiver. So that's a huge benefit for MSMEs, because they are, the cash is not blocked, by paying EMD in multiple tenders. If they participate in tenders in a year, then the good amount is blocked, and it takes time to get it done. The second is the price matching option. If you are a SPRS holder. The other thing is we do have a B2B portal called msmemart.com. So through which that portal we try to provide the trade inquiries and visibility to the MSMEs through internet. That is one. Second is that we provide keyword based tender alerts in the MSME inbox, based on their profile, for participating in public procurement. So we try to cover both these areas through this B2B portal, msmemart.com. Of course, we do provide some other government scheme, NSIC schemes, link, and all those support system through the portal. So I think these are the areas where we provide marketing support. We also have tender marketing scheme, and where if a particular MSME is not able to participate in any tender due to some technical requirement, and as a paperwork or something is missing, they can take help of the nearest NSIC branch, and that NSIC will participate in that tender on behalf of the MSME. That's a really big help, because in many tenders there are some restrictive clauses for MSMEs in terms of turnover or certain things, which gets taken care by the NSIC.
Thank you, Mr. Vidyasagar. Very helpful reply. I have a very important question from Mr. Ari Prathan. So he says, the Tenkasi belt, we have women BD workers. They're facing many challenges. And, he mentioned Tenkasi, and Sridhar right now is in Tenkasi. And we also have Sivakasi nearby, where we have similar problems with firecracker units, people dying day in and out. So, Sridhar, would you like to answer this question? Alternatives for people engaged in these hazardous line of work?
As a matter of fact, many candidates I have actually met in our Zoho schools of learning, whose parents come from that tobacco, the BD sector. And so we are training the kids into software professionals, all of that right now. And we have a good track record in doing this. Quite a few have done. And of course, that sector is vast. There is a large number of people. And we definitely have to the best way to invest in safety is to create additional better jobs for people. And then people who have to do this, their bargaining power will improve, and therefore safety norms will be better for them. That's the best way to do it. Even if tobacco products are legal, and we have to make them safer for the workers. And the best way to do it is create a lot of jobs so that the people who are doing this job can have better prospects in terms of pay and performance. And that's exactly what we have been doing in Tenkasi, in that area. But a lot more needs to be done around the country. A lot more businesses have to arise to train people, train workers in other lines of work as well.
Thank you, Sridhar. Director Udayakumar, would you like to add something? People engaged in these lines of business, risky lines of business, if they want to divert away from that, any specific government schemes they should be aware of, any support from NSIC?
Yeah, actually, as a matter of fact, I have widely traveled in all these places, whether it's Tenkasi or Sivagasi. In fact, during my previous assignment, I've traveled extensively in this area. But even last week, I was in Tenkasi, as a matter of fact. I came for some other meeting. But the thing is, see here, in this particular belt, people were, doing a business based on the traditional methods. They have to change. But actually, I've seen a lot of in Sivagasi belt, second generation or third generation people have become completely tech savvy. But they've completely revamped their business model, whether it is a borrowing or whether there is a marketing, they've completely revamped. Actually, especially the units which are family controlled, the next generation person, whether son or daughter, they have to take the ownership. Otherwise, what happens is the business, irrespective of whatever is the nature of the business, it just completely perishes because they are not able to sustain and they are not able to compete with the kind of a technology or the kind of digital interventions of their competitors. So whether they are agri-based units or they are basically like this kind of firecracker units, they need to really bring technology. They need to intensively. They have to increase their aggressive marketing efforts, and of course, government is also having a lot of schemes. In fact, I was having another slide. There are about 28 different schemes which are supporting directly or indirectly MSMEs. So I think especially PMEGP is the one which I think Prime Minister Employment Guarantee Program where there is a substantial subsidy. There are also interest subvention schemes. So if MSME units, in fact NSIC is like that, but for that only, but we need to handhold them, mentor them. The MSMEs have to take care of, understand and take help from some of the schemes which are announced by the central government or the state government. Once you avail all the schemes, I can tell you the MSME, irrespective of whatever sector is and even if it is agri-based units, will be 30 to 40% more competitive than its counterparts. So I would like, we need people like us, we need to create an awareness among these people about the government schemes, central or state government schemes, so that the persons will be able to transform his business and bring in either IT intervention or marketing intervention or government support, so that he'll be able to survive and sustain.
Thank you, Director sir. The next question is from Mr. Pratik. He says, we have been used to Excel sheets and all our data is stored offline. Some of us have security and privacy apprehensions that are preventing us from adopting cloud solutions. How do we overcome this? Mr. Vidya Sagar, you're working on digital initiatives for MSMEs. Would you like to answer this?
I think if Joho team is there, I think it will be this question will be better answered by Joho team. So maybe you or any of the team members can answer this.
Sridhar?
Yeah. So this the easiest machine to hack would be your own laptop rather than a secure data center. Because today data centers increasingly get very strict security and Increasingly, those things are better and better. They are easier to secure. Just like your bank is safer to keep your money than at home, and the bank locker is safer to keep jewelry than at home. The data is best stored in cloud servers and only consumed as needed, and don't keep much data locally, because the local machine, for example, the phone could get stolen. I could go through a train or a bus, I could lose my laptop. And these things happen to us. If I have all my data there, there could be a problem. So I will have to go through encryption, all of that locally, which I may not remember to keep up because it's all on me. So that's why actually cloud-based software is more secure now than what is on the desktop or what's on the phone. So it is better to have it in the cloud and then consume it on demand. That is what I would say now. And as expected, the world is moving towards this now, rapidly adopting cloud solutions everywhere now.
The voice is not audible. Mr. Girish, your voice is not audible now.
Sorry. Thank you, Director Sir, and thank you, Sridhar, for answering that question. So we have this question from Mr. Rishabh, who says, how do emerging industrial hubs like Vietnam, Indonesia, Gabon affect MSMEs in India?
Come again? Can you repeat the question?
Yeah. How do emerging industrial hubs in countries like Vietnam, Indonesia, Gabon affect the MSMEs in India? I'm assuming he's talking about the price and the labor advantages that they have, which is matched by what we have. So how will Indian MSMEs be able to compete with these cost-effective markets that are coming up right now?
Yeah. Would you like to answer, Mr. Sridhar, or should I attempt?
Yeah. So the truth is, majority of the markets are local. And that's true for a Vietnamese company, that's true for Indonesian company, that's true for us in India. If you're an MSME, don't worry about companies in Vietnam right now. Worry about the local situation, how we can find customers, all that. Because and the second, it's not true that our labor, our land, everything is more costly than, say, in Indonesia or Vietnam. They have similar issues of costs going up, all of that. In fact, those countries have higher costs. So we should not develop a defeatist mindset thinking that somebody else somewhere will be doing better. After all, in fact, I'll give you this example. Countries like Japan, Switzerland, which have very high labor costs compared to India, managed to export a lot of products to India. In fact, small companies in Switzerland export products into India, even though their labor costs could be 50 to 100 times higher than India. So that is why we should not be overthinking this all the time.
Thank you, Sridhar.
Yeah, I think I 100% agree with you, because as a matter of fact, I would also like to say that during the year 2021, which is considered to be the kind of a worst COVID hit here, if you take our business, performance, I'm very candid, we have done much better than the previous years in terms of whether it's raw material sales or our finance presentation or our even the B2B contribution. So basically, what is happening is, although one side actually people are talking that there is an increase, substantial increase on the cost of the raw material. Yes, it has happened actually, but still there's a demand. So what is very important now is actually demand creation. Your demand creation, if it takes place, automatically everything will fall in order. Like people won't mind paying even a higher price for the raw material. So I think even government is very closely watching. There are also policy interventions which are coming in, including some, they also put some tariff barriers. So that local industries are protected. But I think now when India is really aiming for making India, as a global manufacturing hub, I'm sure a lot of policy amendments are going to take place, which I'm sure will give a comfort for the MSMEs of India.
Thank you, sir. The next question is already projected on the screen. It's from Mr. Naveen. He says he's a 2-year-old micro company and he wants to participate in tenders, especially in the state of Uttarakhand. Will NSIC certification or membership help me? And secondly, next part of the question is, will every department that releases tenders keep any eligibility criteria so we can participate? So basically, it's a set of two different questions. One is whether it gives any special exclusivity for NSIC members at state government level tenders. That's one thing. Even though he's asked about Uttarakhand, I think we have people from all over, so your answers would be useful to them. The second question would be, will NSIC members be prioritized?
Sagar, you would like to answer?
Yeah, so basically, Naveen ji, so this NSIC certification, which is there for public procurement, it is primarily recognized in all the central government department, whether defense, railway, or PSUs, ministries, and many of the state governments also recognize this certification, and they give all the due benefits, which is mentioned in the certificate. So that is one. So I'm specifically not sure about Uttarakhand, but you can check with our nearest NSIC office in Uttarakhand. We do have office in Dehradun, and so you can check with them, and you can always visit our website nsic.co.in and found our nearest offices, their contact detail, address, and you can contact them. The second is the question. I did not get the question. It is, I mean, what will every department who release the tenders will keep this eligibility criteria so we can participate? Eligibility criteria means whether he's talking about the same certification or something else.
I presume whether government tenders will have a provision to make it exclusive for NSIC members, or whether NSIC members will
Okay, yeah.
continue to use.
So I would like to explain here to everyone, all the participants, that as per the Government of India and MSMED Act, 2006, there is a public procurement policy which got implemented from 2012 and became mandatory from 2015. So there is 25% reservation from MSME procurement. So all the central government department who procure anything, so they have to mandatory procure 25% of their total procurement from MSME. And within that 25%, 4% is reserved for SC/ST entrepreneur, 3% is reserved for women entrepreneurs. So yes, so basically this criteria of MSME mandatory procurement from MSMEs are there, and it is mandatory. And since Government of India, I mean, this procurement is worth $1 trillion, because government is one of the biggest spender in India. So it's a huge lakhs of crores of opportunities. So if you are interested in government procurement, you must look into it and focus on it.
Thank you, sir. That was very detailed. So I have a question, a set of two questions actually from Mr. Ram Kumar. Both are interconnected. Let me pick up the first one here. It's addressed to Mr. Sridhar. So he says, we have adopted Zoho books and we find it very easy to use. What other Zoho products can we explore as an MSME? We have a leather business and we are a small team. Sridhar?
So since you have another business, you will have inventory. That could be worth exploring. And then you will have, of course, all the keep track of customers. We have a product called Begin, BIGIN, and that's a CRM particularly built for very small teams. I mean, MSME is a good part to start. And nicely, as you grow, it also fits well with those CRM, so you smoothly migrate to bigger CRM when you need it. But Begin is a very good product to explore there. And your product making processes, some of the projects and designing your leather products, that could be a project management software if you need this, Go projects. So variety of things you can explore. And of course, online meetings with customers these days, a lot of things are moving to online. So we have a variety of meeting tools. And your internal, if your employees, workers communicating, if you are on the field, there is a chat product, click, and you can have all be on the same page, quickly get status. That's how we keep track of our own far-flung workforce now. So a lot of these products could be useful for you. So I would urge you to look at our Zoho website and try these products. Everything has a free trial, you can try this. Thank you.
Thank you, Sridhar. So his follow-up question was whether Zoho has any special pricing for MSMEs.
Yes, our pricing is designed to be very aggressive, and you can see this from Zoho Books itself, and you will see the particularly entry-level editions are priced extremely aggressively, particularly keep in mind the MSMEs. So you'll find them always very affordable, and our Indian rupee prices are actually some of the lowest in the world by any vendor. So please take a look at it. Thank you.
So I would like to add here, if I can. So basically, yes, we have, as part of the MOU, we have signed with Zoho. So there is a special offer for MSMEs, if you are to avail it through NSIC branches or online. So yes, I would encourage you to go through that and, contact nearest NSIC branch or maybe visit our website. And there is a special offer for you.
Thank you, sir, for clarifying that. Some of the apps that that Sridhar did mention that Zoho makes are already listed here. So whatever is the official list price for these products to other users, NSIC members will get a special additional 20% discount. So it's already very competitively priced, and you get an additional 20% discount, making it extremely affordable. We will show this presentation, this slide once again towards the end, so you can make a note. All these products that you see on the screen, the CRM, the mini CRM Begin, the accounting software books, inventory management software, and the e-commerce builder, all of them carry the 20% discount that Zoho is offering for NSIC members. And we have another question from Mr. Dinesh. It says, how will digital marketing change the future?
Come again? Come again?
Sridhar? So this next question is from Mr. Dinesh. He says it's addressed to Mr. Sridhar. How will digital marketing change the future?
Just you're the right person.
So actually, it's addressed to Sridharji, so I think we have expert, so I will let him answer.
Yeah, this is part of everything going digital. Everything governed by what we do from our computers and phones, driving the business. And clearly, marketing is very much part of it. And the reason why marketing is important in digital marketing is customers are on their phones, on their computers all the time. I mean, even TV watching is happening on Netflix, and the movie watching is happening on Netflix or on the phone. So it's increasingly, that means where the customers are, that's where marketing has to go to. That's why digital marketing is important. And along with it, I will also say that don't forget traditional marketing. For MSMEs, for example, if you are in a town, just printing handbills and distributing it is effective marketing. So keep both in mind, both the new kind of digital marketing, as well as conventional, very old-fashioned techniques like, sticking bills. Those things work actually.
Thank you, Sridhar. And I understand that Sridhar has another appointment coming up just after this, so he may have to leave now. We still have a few more questions that are targeted entirely at NSIC that we can continue taking up after Mr. Sridhar excuses himself. So any closing notes from you, Sridhar?
Can you come again? But I couldn't get you.
Yeah, any closing notes from you, Sridhar, before you leave for your next meeting?
So I want to restate what I said about MSME challenge. Look at products that are in your household, in your neighborhood, in your businesses, in our around, and start thinking about how do we make those products, how do we make the components, how do we make the derivatives, all of that. That is how I would start the challenge for MSME. And once you identify a niche area that you can get in, then start looking at what could I do here and what kind of equipment is needed, what kind of skills are needed. That is how I'll go about business. And then finding customers, as I mentioned, events, very old-fashioned techniques still work. It's not all have to be like Google Ads or some fancy TV commercial, any of that. Very old-fashioned techniques work for MSMEs. Often just simply Finding people on a LinkedIn and contacting them and saying, or sending an email saying, we have this interesting offering, would you be interested? Often works. So if you try judiciously now. And that's why it's important that, and if you are, ultimately business is about supply and demand managing properly. If you see a demand for a product, and if you see that a lot of it is imported from abroad, there might be a displacement strategy right here domestically. People are buying a lot of something. Look at how we can make it here. That's all Make in India and Atmanirbhar challenge. So, and MSMEs have a huge role to play, a vital role to play. And if you look at this creatively and optimistically, you have to be an optimist to be in business. That's a most important thing I'll say. And we have to have the mindset that I'm here to solve problems, not complain about problems. That's something that I always remind myself. I don't want to complain about problems, I want to solve problems. Keep that in mind, you'll do very well. Thank you and namaskar.
Thank you, Sridhar. Thank you for taking the time to answer all those questions. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sridharji, for your time.
Thank you. So we still have a few more questions targeted at NSIC that I hope both of you gentlemen can continue answering for us. So this question from Mr. Kevin says, how does NSIC plan to provide raw materials to the MSMEs? I'm assuming that, when you're purchasing in retail quantities, smaller quantities, usually purchasing many raw materials could be difficult. So how does NSIC
answer it? Yeah. See, basically, as I mentioned in my initial speech, NSIC aggregates the requirements of all MSMEs of raw materials. We have an MOU system with countries, major raw material producers, including importers. So what we do is actually we'll ensure availability of the raw materials, critical raw materials, at a reasonably competitive price. So we don't manipulate prices, unlike the dealers or distributors. Sometimes they will change the prices depending on the market conditions. So we facilitate the product at the right kind of from the manufacturers at the right price, and we also provide a financing, which is called raw material assistance to the MSMEs. So in case if the product which is needed by this particular entrepreneur is not covered in our portfolio, let him express which is his product. We can always add it. We also will talk to the similar companies in that particular cluster on that particular region. So once there is a a minimum economic quantities available, we will aggregate and we'll sign an MOU with the supplier and we'll provide it. In fact, we have also authorized all our local general managers also to sign MOUs with even the local producers. So I think as per the raw material concern, we are pretty strong. We don't make any margin at all in this. In fact, NSIC is almost doing like a free service. We aggregate the demand and we also aggregate the suppliers and we facilitate.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for that. So sorry about the video. This video is frozen, but his audio is still working. Okay. So the next question is from Mr. Malikarjun. So he says, do energy auditors get any exemption from paying EMD, that's earnest money deposit, for tenders when bidding for those tenders?
I think he's talking about EMD, isn't it?
Yeah, for EMD, security deposit. Yeah, is there any exemption for energy auditors?
Yeah, actually, it is very simple. Now, with this MSME registration system, it has been made much simplified. Now, it's a kind of a click of your button, you can become an MSME because there is no physical inspection. So, even if he's an energy auditor or even if he's a business practitioner, all he has to do is he has to enroll himself as a micro small enterprises in the Udyam portal now, which is called Udyam portal, where he has to log in and he has to register himself as a micro small enterprise, choosing as a manufacturer, because there is a drill down menu. He has to choose in which activity he is falling in, or if it is a service provider, there are a list of service providers available. He has to click and he has to enroll himself as a service provider. Then he is eligible.
Oh, okay, sir. Thank you. And the next question is from Mr. Basudev. He's asking how single point registration is better than GEM.
Okay. See, the single point registration procedure is very simple. We have offices spread all over actually. It's a completely online registration system, and the entrepreneur, whether he or she has to log in into our SPRS online website. It's called sprsonline.co.in. So where actually like he can log in and he can enroll himself, and once he submits his application form, then like the payments can be transmitted to RTGS. Then he has to choose the agency, inspection agency. We have a couple of reputed third party inspection agencies, and the agency, once application is in order, so we will refer the inspection agency to go for inspection, and the inspection agency will have a comprehensive inspection mechanism, and then actually like they will submit their findings. Then we'll provide an online certification, which is very robust, and it's reliable, and it is also it's a trusted by most of the PSU. It's a very simple one. If somebody has got any difficulty in enrolling it, they can easily contact us also directly. We'll guide them.
I would like to add here, sir. I mean, they wanted to know that how it is better than GEM. So I would like to clarify that there is no comparison of GEM and SPRS. GEM is a online B2G portal, right? Where the government tenders are floated and MSME can have to register in the GEM, participate, process the order. Whereas SPRS is a certification. So if any, in fact, if any MSME is SPRS certified, then he also gets benefit on registering GEM. He is, waived, his vendor evaluation is, waived off. In fact, GEM, during the GEM registration, it asks whether you are an SIC, if you are an SIC registered, and if you say yes, if you upload the certificate, then you are kind of given green channel on GEM. So that's the two different thing actually.
Thank you, Director Sir, and thank you, Vidyasagar. So another related question. Mr. Sridhar has already answered the Zoho part of this question. But what kind of training and onboarding support does NSIC provide to its members in adopting software?
So yes, as we said that we have recently signed this MOU, and now we are going to start the virtual trainings and awareness session across India through our NSIC field offices by enrolling the District Industry Association, their members, and all our NSIC members. And we will be training them what are the products, what are the offer, how it's going to benefit them. And we will be hand-holding them physically, virtually, by the field offices, from the head office, in onboarding them and giving the training. Once they are onboarded, the Zoho specialized team will be giving them the training on how to use their software. So there is a full-fledged onboarding and training, program and support will be given to everyone. It's going to start very soon.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for clarifying that. So I think we are getting close to our event ending time. So I would like to request both of you to make your closing notes and cover any points that have been missed out, any questions that weren't asked, but for which you think the answers are important. So Director Uday Kumar sir, followed by Vidyasagar Singh sir, please start with your closing notes.
Can I say?
Yes, sir, please.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah, all those videos not there, and I would like to really first of all thank Zoho Corporation, especially Padmasri Sasita Bembo, for spending his time, and of course this provided an opportunity to interact with various different kind of entrepreneurs across India, and we're also very happy to answer some other queries. And I think, as we mentioned, actually, like the IT sector or the digital sector is going to play a major role in transforming the micro, small, medium enterprises in India in the days to come. I think we will reach a stage wherein without IT or digital, the MSMEs will not be able to transact their business. I think we'll be reaching that particular stage. And also, I think this will completely help the MSMEs to not only reach out to the domestic market also will help in reaching out to the global market. And now with government's initiatives on like PLA schemes, and also like with the export trust, and also the Make in India, drive. And I think MSMEs are going to play a major role, and especially in health sector, the defense sector, and e-commerce sector, and education sector, which are all actually like it is growing on an exponential level. And the defense sector, which is going to be part of this growth story, maybe the days to come, whether it's a UP defense corridor or Tamil Nadu defense corridor. Apart from this hardware manufacturing, the software is going to play a major role. So I think this particular platform, or this alliance between NSIC and Zoho, will definitely facilitate, and it will also provide a platform, digital platform, for transforming the MSMEs from the conventional pattern to a completely digitalized IT pattern. And I think this our initiative is a small way in this. And I think with the support of Zoho, and also with the help of with the patronage of MSMEs across India, I think we'll play a kind of a lead role in this transformation. I think we'll work closely, and maybe like when things improve, without this with the COVID thing, like gets comes down, then I think we'll be in the physically, we'll be in the field, we'll have the pleasure of meeting people. I'm sure actually Zogo team is also spread across the country as well as I think abroad. I think that they will also have an opportunity to interact with the MSMEs. Maybe this will also help them to identify more such digital products and demand-driven IT products to the MSMEs. And I think we'd like to wish you, wish good luck to all the participants. Would like to thank Zogo once again, and thanks to Mr. Vidyasagar for organizing this program.
Thank you, Director Uday Kumar. Mr. Vidyasagar, you're up next.
Yeah, thank you. So yes, so I would like to say, based on the questions, I see from some of the participants. So I would like to emphasize that NSIC have, solutions under marketing, finance, tech support, scaling, and incubation, right? So for most of your, business life cycle, we have got something, whether it's raw material, whether it's providing finance, whether it's about marketing, exhibition support, or a B2B portal, or tender support, public procurement, keyword based tender alerts. So I would strongly recommend you that you visit NSIC corporate website, or our B2B transactional B2B portal, msmemart.com, or find out our nearest NSIC branch offices, contact them over the phone, or if possible visit them, understand our offering and your requirements. You tell them your requirements, and see what we have to offer. So we may have a lot of things which you may not be currently aware. So I would strongly recommend that you contact NSIC. You may also download our MSME Global Mart mobile app, which is MSME Global Mart. It's listed on Google Play Store. Recently launched, it's just 2-3 months back. It have been launched, and so it will be helpful, I think. Then coming about the ICT and digital initiative, I think there is no doubt about it that we can't live without digital technologies, and the way it has changed our life, whether we whether cab booking, or communication, WhatsApp, or smartphone, YouTube, and multiple such things. In personal life, we are 99% dependent on these digital technologies, and we are using them, and we are happily kind of adopting them as well. So I think there is a similar need to adopt digital technologies which are available around us, or digital transformation in our business, because that will I think help you in almost all the aspects. It will help you bring efficiency, increase automation, reduce your cost, increase your market share, market access, everything. So it has a lot of potential, and I mean, there is no, I mean, we don't need to, I think, should raise questions or doubt whether this can help us. It's time to embrace these technologies, adopt them, and move forward. So that's the two words from my side, and we welcome, we appreciate all your time and patient hearing. And in the last, I would again once again thank you for our director Uday Kumar sir for his valuable time, Padma Sri Sridhar Vembu sir, Kirish, all Zoho team, all my NSIC colleagues, who mobilized in MSMEs, who informed MSMEs, who contacted them for this wonderful session. I would like to thank all of them.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for your kind words. And thank you all for joining and making this event a grand success. Thank you for all your questions. I'm sorry we couldn't take all of them because of paucity of time, but we will all receive a follow-up email which contains the recording of this entire event that you can see and listen to again in case you missed any portions of it. And also share it with people that you think should definitely take a look at it and would benefit by working with NSIC. And it will also include information about the available Zoho softwares that you can try out for your businesses, and also the discounts that are being made available exclusively for NSIC members. So thank you all once again. Thank you for joining, and wish you all the best. Stay safe.
Thank you.
Thank you. Wish you good night.